Wow. All right, do the punch again. So it's taken me about a week of procrastination to get to the point of talking to him on my phone. And for the longest, I couldn't understand why I was having so much difficulty when it came down to making a video of buying in a real estate market such as this one. And yesterday, I think I realized I didn't sound organic when I was reading off of my computer. And I think in most cases, I'm just freestyling as I go, because most of the knowledge is in my head, right? It's retained up here. It's not in my computer. Although I did spend about probably 3 hours just typing what I wanted to say into Word, and I read it back like 5 or 6 times, and I was like, man, is this how I really sound? Because it sounded so just unnatural. And I decided the best bet is for me to record this talking to my camera without reading the script off of my computer. So I'm hoping I'm going to remember all these bullet points. But I wanted to talk about buying real estate in this market, because I think there are a lot of buyers out there still looking for homes, and they may be unsure about what's really happening in the real estate market. So there are a lot of realtors out there who don't necessarily have your best interest. And when it comes down to it, we're all salesmen, including myself. So I've been licensed for 15 plus years in the state of California. And when I first got my real estate license, I was very salesmanish. I didn't give a shit about building rapport with buyers or sellers. I didn't even think about client retention half the time because it wasn't necessary. I think I got my license in my early 20s, and when you get your first real estate check, I mean, it's good money. So the commission definitely was a driving factor for me. But then I quickly learned that the money's gonna come no matter what. I gotta get good at my craft. So I was like, okay, I can't be motivated by the money if I'm passionate about real estate. So I decided to get good at real estate. I feel I'm actually pretty damn good. Most realtors are salespeople, so they're gonna sell you a house no matter what. So as a buyer, your best bet and your first approach should be establishing who you want to work with, because some just want the commission and some are looking out for you. Before you start home shopping, you got to get qualified. In a market like this, where we have limited options, we are basically looking at very, very little inventory, but we also have high prices, and interest rates are steady climbing at a dramatic rate, and I foresee them climbing even further, which kind of sucks. All right, so if you are in the real estate market at this very moment, it's not the most ideal time to purchase. Interest rates are high, sales prices are high, inventory is low. It just kind of sucks. But we're talking as if you have to buy, right? So you have to buy out of necessity. So let's talk about the conversation you need to have with your real estate agent. You need to inform your real estate agent the reason for purchasing a home. You need to have a thorough discussion with your real estate agent as far as what you're looking for, why you're looking for it, and how quickly you need to acquire it. So the reason I say this, there's a lot of factors that come into play. As a realtor, I'm talking to you as if I'm representing you. If you tell me you are changing jobs, you're relocating, and you need to find a home within 6 months, I know I have a little bit of time, right? I can maneuver the market, I can shop around, I can probably find you the ideal home in that amount of time. If you approach me and say, hey, we're having a baby, the baby's gonna be here in 2 months, and we've outgrown our home, I need a home in 3 months. Now, there's some pressure, right? But I work well under pressure. Hopefully a good real estate agent will work good under pressure. Hopefully your real estate agent will work good under pressure. But these are variables that should be discussed before you even look at a home, because this is going to kind of give direction for your real estate agent as to where he needs to look. Next, we got to discuss price. So, you've gotten to the point where you know you need a home. Your work has told you you need to relocate. They may help you with some closing costs and whatnot, but you're responsible for this purchase price. You got to get qualified. So let's say you're relocating from Lancaster, which home prices out there fairly low considering we're in Southern California, and you need to relocate to the South Bay. Let's say Hawthorne, for example. You're going to be looking at a minimum of maybe high sixes, low $700,000. So now you got to get qualified by a lender. In this market, with high interest rates, little inventory, you're going to want to make sure you can qualify for that home. So you got to make sure that if you get qualified for Hawthorne, you can afford Hawthorne. You can afford to live in that home for a minimum of 1 to 2 years without compromising your lifestyle. And when I say that, I'm saying you don't want to live just to live to pay for a mortgage, right? Like I'm driving my truck right now. You got to be able to afford gas. You got to be able to afford insurance. It's another thing. Switching gears a little. PITI. It's an acronym. Principal, interest, taxes, insurance. That's your responsibility for a mortgage. You are going to be responsible for that every month. So if you get qualified, for example, $800,000, that's your max. I would suggest in a market like this, you don't spread yourself too thin. You look for a home in the $750,000 range, maybe even a little lower, because if you think you're going to be able to pay for that $800,000 mortgage and retain your job for 1 to 2 years, but you're going to be compromising some of your lifestyle, maybe you don't eat out as much, maybe you don't take the kids to the movies, if that's your thing. I don't know. Maybe some of you don't even have kids, right? But I'm just trying to say, don't live above your means. Don't kill yourself for a mortgage. I honestly think we're going to start to see a lot more inventory come online. Unfortunately, interest rates are going to continue to creep up, but purchase prices are going to continue to come down. This is just my opinion. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't foresee the future. This is just me gauging what the market's doing and trying my best to educate you guys as far as like what's happening so you can make the best decision possible when it comes to buying a home. Okay, so now we know you're qualified for $800,000. You're relocating from Lancaster to Hawthorne, which I just pulled into, and you could afford $800,000, but you want to stay in the $750,000 range because you don't want to overextend yourself, right? But now you need to consider features of the home. This light makes me definitely shows my hair is thinning. Kind of sucks. Okay, so now we're looking at features of the home. entry-level home in Hawthorne, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, probably about 800 to 1,300 square feet. That's entry level, depending on where area of Hawthorne you're looking at. If you're looking further east, you're going to get more options. If you're looking further west, call it a day. You ain't getting shit. You got to step your game up to $1 million plus, unfortunately, at the moment. So, take into consideration with the lack of inventory and the features you're looking for and the time frames involved for you to buy, you may have to compromise. You may have to forego 2 bathrooms at the moment and only go with 1. You may have to forego the slightly larger home of 1,500 square feet and compromise for something at 1,200, because inventory is coming online. You may be in a position where you have to make a decision on a home almost immediately. And let's go back to your urgency, your reason for purchasing a home. If you've got 6 months, you may have the luxury of picking and choosing and having more options when it comes down to features. If you say you need to be in a home 2 months, your realtors are going to be busting ass to find you a home. You are purchasing something that's probably the largest thing you'll ever buy or finance. And having pride of ownership feels good. I've owned quite a few homes. I just sold my last one, and I'm waiting to purchase again. But pride of ownership feels good no matter where you live. The sense of owning something. You can't think of a home as a credit card. You don't want to buy a home and just start drawing cash on it. You don't want to buy a home and think, wow, the market just dropped. I lost $100,000. You can't look at it that way. This is a long-term investment. The reason why I was procrastinating on making this video is I was like, damn, I want this video to be perfect, right? And I'm sure I've missed some things, but I was like, man, I want it to be perfect. And every time I spoke, it just sounded like shit. And I was like, this isn't right. I just need to talk naturally. I need to speak to you, the viewer, as if I were talking to you in person. So just like there's no perfect time to make this video, there's no perfect time to buy a home. If you need to buy a home, you need to buy a home. If you're relocating and have to buy, you have to buy. If you're presented with an opportunity to get into a better school district or location, like, take that opportunity. You're financing a home probably for 30 years. And when you think of the long-term benefits, you have some tax benefits. It's probably going to get handed down to a relative or your children. Home ownership builds long-term wealth. And I'll leave it at that. I'm sure I missed a few things, but in conclusion, get a good real estate agent who understands the market, preferably who has some good experience, because they're going to be able to negotiate on your behalf. And, be patient. I don't think you're going to be able to find a home right away, and take it from someone who has experience. I've sold a few homes in the last couple years that had 50 plus offers on them, and I only have to accept one offer, which tells me 49 of those families are getting screwed out of a home that they want. So there's a lot of competition out there for what inventory is out there. But if you're patient enough, if you're a buyer in this market, and you can hold off for a few months, I think you're going to have more options, and you're going to be able to purchase a home, and it's going to be something you enjoy. It's going to be something you want, and it's going to be something that you're going to have for a long time. Don't buy it just to buy it. If all your friends are buying a home, you're like, I want to buy a home. That's kind of stupid, Buy it for the right reasons. Sell for the right reasons. I just sold my house in San Bernardino. I was fucking depressed living out there. Fuck that county. That shit pisses me off. I was harassed by police. I was robbed. it's just depressing. Like it's you're, and I live by myself most of the time, so all of that didn't allow me to sleep well. It just weighed on my mental state, and most of my work was in LA County anyway. So I decided now was the best time for me to get out of San Bernardino, and I didn't give a shit if I could have got more money. It was my mental health and safety was more important than making money. But I felt like this was a good time for me to sell. Money aside, buy when you need to buy, sell when you need to sell, consult a professional like myself. I'll definitely help you out. If you guys have any questions or concerns, send them my way. I'm sure I missed some info. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye.